What is up, YouTube? It is hwfloss, the worst producer of all time, back with another video. In today's video, as you read in the title, we're talking about counter melodies. How to make and create simple counter melodies so they don't get in the way and they give it room, or they give the track room to let the artist do the work. But before we get into that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell, make sure you leave comments and hit that thumbs up on the channel. Let me know if you like what I'm doing, and I will continue to put out that great product and reviews. So today we're going to talk about counter melody, all right? Counter melody, okay. So a lot of people have been hitting me up, what is a counter melody? So let's look at it. Counter melody, often it is a sequence of notes perceived as a melody, written to be played simultaneously with a more prominent lead melody. In other words, it's a secondary melody played in counterpoint with the primary melody, okay? So if you have a lead melody in a song, this is like what complements that melody and just fills up space in the track. But sometimes when we're doing this, it can get messy if you don't know what you're doing, or if you get out of key, or if you just go crazy and try to make 3 lead melodies. So this is not a lead melody, it's a counter melody, okay? So let's dive on into FL Studio. I'm gonna use 140, and then I'm gonna show a couple of tips, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna keep it simple, and we're just going to get let's get FL keys, okay? So everyone has this if you have FL Studio, and we can use this, okay? So let's go inside the step sequencer, and we're gonna change the helpers to C minor, okay? And then we're gonna use a 4-bar loop. So let's start here with C minor. We're gonna bring that up. All right, and we're gonna make a minor chord, okay? And then we're gonna go to the 4th, which is also a minor. Then we use the 5th as the minor. We're just using a regular chord progression, and I'm following the highlighted. See, it's a dark and there's a highlight. The C minor's in the highlighted, okay? And then we'll use this one. And this last one's a major. So once you get your chord progression, okay, so you got your chord progression, then you can start doing a melody with that chord progression, right? So this would be the lead melody or the prominent melody, and I'm just following some of the highlighted notes. So that's just a regular chord progression with a top melody. So this is your lead melody, right? So then you can go in and you can clone this, but we're going to replace it with another instrument just to make it helpful. We're going to replace it with an instance of Nexus. All right. So now the next thing you can do is you could take a pluck or another piano or whatever the case may be. We're going to use, or a bell. So we're going to find that. We're going to use a bell. We're going to copy it. And this is the number one way you can do a counter melody, or a melody that complements. So we're going to take away the top melody parts. And this is the number one way you can highlight it, and you can shrink it halfway and then pull it back halfway. So now it's going to play in key, but it's going to play at the halfway mark of the chord progression. Okay, and let's make it make sense. So it fills out the track, but it doesn't take away from the main melody, which was the first keys melody, okay? Okay, so everybody pretty much has FL keys or Nexus or something easy. So this is what the first way you can do it. Okay, the second way, if you don't want to do it that way, where you just take it and you just at the halfway mark of each chord progression, you can also follow the chord progression just like this. And that way there's another melody going on as a counter melody to the main melody, right? So this is part two, just following the actual chord progression and going up or down. You can go down with it as well. Okay, and you can get creative with it as long as you follow the melody, you know. That's part two. So the first way was we just took the same melody and brought it to the middle. The second way is actually going up the scale or down the scale inside the melody, okay? And then we can get a little bit more complicated. Let's go to the third step where we actually just create our own. We're not even following the keys of the chord progression. Now some of them will overlap. Okay, so that's three ways so far that you've learned how to implement the counter melody, okay? And then you can get into it where you're using the actual, we're going to copy this over, paste, and now we're going to use an arpeggiator or ARP. You know, it fills in space, it stays in key. Now I don't know how this ARP sounds, so bear with me. I'm gonna turn it down because I don't know how it is. But all I did was copy the original chord progression, and I'm gonna take off the top notes because I already have those notes in the piano. Okay, and now hopefully the ARP fills in that space. Okay, so that's 4 easy, simple ways to get a counter melody going when you're having beat block or something. Just think of those 4 tips, okay? The first tip was you copy the chord progression and then you move everything into the middle and shorten it. The second way is you can kind of just follow up or down inside the chord progression that you've already made. The third one is you can actually go inside the scale and play inside the scale. And then the fourth way is just copy the original chord progression over and make an ARP. Okay, use an ARP sound to let it fill in those blanks for you. Okay, so hopefully those 4 simple rules will help you with some counter melodies. Remember, the counter melody is not the lead melody. It just accentuates or complements the main melody that you make, which is the first melody that you make, or should be the first melody that you make, or the catchy melody that you make. Okay, so it's your boy Hollywood Floss. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Make sure you tune into the channel. I'll be doing some more reviews. It's a new year. It's time to make more beats, so I got to get you guys prepared. Also, don't be afraid to follow me on Instagram, hwfloss, and Twitter, hwfloss, and BeatStars, hollywoodfloss.beatstars.com. It's Hollywood Floss, the worst producer of all time, signing out. Peace.